A multi-trillion-dollar issue involving the globe and banks is resolved by XRP. We will delve into specifics of Ripple, Visa, and XRP. We will also discuss the operation of Ripple's infrastructure. There will be an abundance of excellent information. So let's get started with this. The settlement architecture and foundation of the future financial system is built around Ripple software and payment systems. I'll play this so you can see how it functions. Thus, application layers such as PayPal, Stripe, Square, and other technologies that interface with customers and organizations wishing to make large transactions are at the top of the payment stack. Banks are the organizations that actually hold the assets, and they are listed below that. Below that, we begin to examine the fundamental interbank infrastructure, regulatory compliance, business continuity, and safety and soundness rule sets. We have messaging guidelines below that. Thus, we can consider Visa messages, H-payment messages, and SWIFT codes. Lastly, below that is the settlement infrastructure, which is mainly run by international correspondent banks and national central banks. Therefore, the current payment stack is at the bottom, where Ripple fits in. All right, to transfer money around the globe, banks rely on technology that is half a century old. It moves slowly. It is expensive. It doesn't work. To use those trains, smaller banks must pay larger institutions a fee. And in this, everyone loses. Both the bank and the customer lose. The larger banks, such as Chase, HSBC, and Citibank, are the only ones who prosper or make gains. Smaller banks turn to them for assistance with some of these more unusual problems since they handle so much money. We have this fantastic diagram as well. Although it is older, this diagram is still relevant to the topic at hand. You see all these other currencies, including the British pound, the Japanese yen, the US dollar, and I believe the Chinese yuan, though I could be mistaken. Thus, please pardon me, but in order for the Brazilian real euro to function, among other various currencies, there must be a settlement asset in between. All right, when discussing the US dollar, it is not the global reserve currency. What then are you going to utilize in its place? However, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are the difficulty. Really, none of them has any faith in the other's money. These currencies aren't worth anything if you look at the state of the world today and what's happening in China, Russia, or even just Brazil. And they vary greatly. Additionally, you don't want your balance to change significantly if you are holding these assets. Thus, you require an asset that will hold its value at a higher level over time. And here's where we think XRP will ultimately end up. Now that Visa and Ripple have partnered, let's play this. Why can't you shake the impression that leaders are always bringing up Ripple, the industry leader in cross-border payment software? Come on, let's play this. Following that is a diagram. I'll quickly demonstrate to you the typical price for a mid-tier bank, or you're not making a single cross-border payment as a mid-tier bank. It's in the range of $25 to $30 to $30. You most likely have a few corridors where you are extremely efficient with a few dollars each payment if you want to derive it at that cost. However, you also have 20% of your payments where you pay between $200 and $300 each. And many banks don't seem to understand this, and that's where you should start if you want to actually improve your present business significantly. Additionally, scaling to many more currencies is possible at a very low marginal cost. Thus, that would be one instance of a simple method. So where did Ripple essentially begin at this point? Yes, they were adept at making payments and ventured into these mysterious passageways, and increasingly mysterious nations where obtaining money is more difficult. Also, they constructed each hallway. Approximately 90% of the FX market is currently covered by Ripple as well. They exist. These rails are theirs to utilize. And that's what matters most in this situation. One of those collaborations I mentioned earlier, Navati, Thailand declares its intention to become a member of Navati Group, a prominent fintech company that facilitates payments between businesses and individuals. Additionally, I've already joined forces with Ripple to grow into Thailand. So let's simply focus on the salient features now. I won't go into detail about it all, but the Navati-Ripple relationship now includes Thailand. Now that it has extended into Thailand, Navati and Ripple's collaboration is making money. It builds on Navati's success in April of this year by utilizing Ripple's net on-demand liquidity offering for remittances between Australia and the Philippines. This illustrates Navati's capacity to generate revenue from the current ecosystem in new areas. There are currently talks to open up further markets in Southeast Asia. We would want to hear that There's also a fantastic clip with Brad Garlinghouse. Permit me to take this. I'm grateful that Alex Cobb posted this. Among the first banks Ripple ever signed. Thus, we are introducing version 4 of a product onto the market today. You release a product that is in version 1.0, which is always an exciting period for a tech company. Like when we debuted version 1.0, we introduced a product. One of the biggest banks in the Middle East was our partner. After going online and testing the market, we had a call from a frustrated banker from the Middle East who said, "Wait a minute, people can see my transactions. I want no one to be aware of my transactions." So as you can see, a public ledger may be used to facilitate transactions and blockchain technology is strong. However, banks, would anyone be thrilled if every SCB transaction was entered into a public ledger? No, I will tell you that much with certainty. The way in which our technology has developed. Yes, XRP is a separate component of Ripple's technology that links banks to liquidity solutions. It is a public open ledger. These are confidential. Imagine them as a kind of short-term private blockchain between two banks that simultaneously holds an escrow and releases the money while cryptographically signing the deal. As a result, there is never a circumstance when a transaction is unsuccessful. However, my argument is that individuals who support this notion of hold on for as long as possible. If you would like some background, the reason Brad made that statement is that roughly 3 to 5% of all overseas payments fail. In general, payments fall through. Moreover, this costs banks a total of billions of dollars annually. And that's precisely the solution Brad was discussing earlier. To put it that way, you never experience a problem where the payment fails. Every transaction ought to be visible. Upon seeing that, I see that's not how things really work in the real world. We may discuss the history, especially as it relates to Bitcoin and other tokens to some extent. There has been a notion that we will get around governments. We will not want the government to become involved. We are not going to go through banks. Look, Ripple, we approach it from a whole different angle. The governments are here to stay. Consequently, banks will undoubtedly continue to exist. We are able to facilitate the internet of value for banks. The repositories of value must be connected in order to activate the internet of value. The banks are the repositories of value. Our goal is to collaborate with banks, financial institutions, payment providers such as PayPal, Linland Pay, or fill in the blank in order to significantly speed up the current payment process while lowering friction. You have to collaborate with banks and central banks if you want to be the largest player in the blockchain industry globally, right? The money is all in that area. Here, let's be sincere. Institutions, your VanEck, your Invesco, your BlackRocks, and your Fidelities. A lot of people's money is located there. Do you believe banks and central banks will want to adopt that technology, or will they say, you know what, if you can develop these solutions and allow them to be used for a far cheaper cost than what they are currently paying? I enjoy that these payments take a few days to settle and that I prefer to spend too much for them, right? Swift will have to accelerate everything they do since blockchain will drive them out of business. Am I correct? Swift is shown relocating to a colony that is roughly T1. Their goal is to arrive on the same day. They pay some of their bills the same day. However, fast payments are the way to go. Furthermore, Swift still has a high cost. This was uploaded by Crypto Barbie. Additionally, this is how the XRP chart appeared in the years 2012, 2016, and 2020. However, I believe that many of the good things that the community has to say about Ripple and XRP have been overshadowed by the legal dispute. Furthermore, it seems like we have been waiting for years. Furthermore, I find it disgusting that the SEC targets Ripple while ignoring Ethereum. Yes, the fact that they give Ethereum a free pass irritates me. Give the Ethereum ETF approval. Why is the Ripple lawsuit still pending? It simply annoys me beyond belief. Please let me know in the comments if this irritates you or if you have any other thoughts. I adore listening to them. Swiss National Bank will purchase Bitcoin. This is an extremely significant development because our goal is to have a central bank purchase Bitcoin for its own holdings. Just think about the retail customer's immense purchasing power. Just consider the Swiss central bank's purchasing power. They certainly have as many as all of the world's central banks, in my opinion. Can you imagine if they added Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, XRP, and so on? Just picture the moment when they begin adding these items to baskets. That is our goal. That is our goal. The banks are what we want. The banks or central banks are what we wish to front run. That's how all of these people became rich here. That's our goal right now. The world's most sophisticated cryptocurrency nation is Switzerland. Additionally, the Swiss public wants the central bank to purchase Bitcoin and record it on the balance sheet. How could they possibly desire that? You gain monetary sovereignty when you include Bitcoin as a central bank on your balance sheet. This means you are not dependent on other global superpowers and their currencies to determine how you should govern your monetary policy and economy. This is a really wise decision. In fact, the Swiss National Bank would profit handsomely for the Swiss people if it included Bitcoin in its balance sheet. I'm an English speaker, yet occasionally I have trouble communicating. This man did an excellent job of conveying all of that information. Please share your thoughts regarding the Swiss Central Bank purchasing Bitcoin in the comments section below. And do you believe that XRP will be included on that list? As the need for immediate payments increases and indicates red flags, US banks are torn between optimism and concern. This is therefore only a brief observation that applies to most of the world. Instantaneous payments are becoming standard practice. That is not the case in the United States, though. The majority of us banks are unable to provide instant payments as a service because less than 1/3 of them are registered for FedNow or real-time payments or RTP. Here in Honolulu, my wife works as a bank employee. They don't even know what ISO 20022 is or how fast payments work. I found that to be alarming. I asked, are you guys going to be using, crypto? When I went to a corporate Christmas party, are you guys aware of the bank's current status regarding the ISO update? Crickets don't know, which is absurd in my opinion. Let me just toss this at you now. Will you continue banking at a bank if you have money there and the bank won't provide you access to the newest technology that will allow you to move money and live a simpler life? Will you continue keeping your funds at that bank? Alternatively, are you going to walk next door and say, hey, look at all these amazing new features we have that can help you simplify your life? You will relocate. I would also relocate. Fine. A multi-trillion-dollar problem is resolved with XRP. Now, the goal is for all global transactions to take place on blockchain or distributed ledger technology. You own real estate, stocks, bonds, derivatives, shares, and money market funds, correct? Putting all of that on specific ledgers and tokenizing it. It's our goal to arrive there. When do we arrive there too? All of us will benefit more though. I hope you gain some knowledge. I sincerely appreciate you seeing. I hope to meet you again soon. Hello?